Timing is everything in the music industry. Some musicians spent years grinding toward success, only to walk away months before their bands became legends. These are 10 rock stars who quit right before fame arrived. If you have a story about a band breakup that haunts you, smash that subscribe button and stick around for number 1. Number 10. Jason Everman. The New York Times Magazine ran a celebrated profile calling him the unluckiest man in rock. Jason Everman funded the recording of Nirvana's debut album Bleach in 1989, contributing $606.17 to the studio sessions. The band parted ways with him before they even toured behind it. He joined Soundgarden next, only to get dismissed again in 1990 after conflicts with Chris Cornell. When he spoke publicly about the Soundgarden departure, Everman said it broke his heart and put him into a genuine tailspin. Nirvana exploded with Nevermind in 1991, selling over 30 million copies worldwide. Soundgarden achieved massive commercial success with Super Unknown in 1994, reaching number 1 on the Billboard 200. Everman later said he never thought either band would get as big as they did, calling them too quirky for mainstream audiences. He later became a decorated U.S. Army Ranger and Green Beret, finding purpose far beyond the music industry.
I was like, at that point, Soundgarden was my favorite Seattle band, hands down. And it was
Number 9. Pete Best. The Beatles fired their drummer on August 16, 1962, just weeks before recording their first hit single. Pete Best spent 2 years with the band, logging hundreds of shows at the Cavern Club in Liverpool and touring Hamburg's Rough Club circuit. Manager Brian Epstein delivered the news, and Ringo Starr replaced him almost immediately. Fans rioted outside the Cavern, chanting "Pete forever, Ringo never." One agitated supporter headbutted George Harrison, giving him a black eye. Beatlemania erupted in 1963, making the group the biggest phenomenon in music history. Best ended up working in a bakery and attempted suicide in 1968 after watching his former bandmates conquer the world. He has since become famous for not being famous, the archetypal example of terrible timing. In 1995, he finally received royalties when the Beatles anthology included early recordings featuring his drumming, earning him a significant payout from the project. Number 8. Dave Mustaine. 50 million records sold, and nearly every one powered by rejection. On April 11, 1983, James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich, and Cliff Burton woke Dave Mustaine up and told him he was out of Metallica, citing his alcoholism and drug abuse. He was not flying home to California either. He had a 4-day bus ride departing 1 hour after the news landed. During that long drive, Mustaine spotted a political handbill referencing an arsenal of Megadeth and named his new band after it. Metallica released Kill 'Em All in 1983, then hit landmark success with Master of Puppets in 1986 and the Black Album in 1991, selling over 125 million albums combined. Mustaine's Megadeth sold 50 million records worldwide. The sting of that bus ride fueled decades of public tension between the two bands. Number 7. Bob Welch.
Getting deeper all the time. Faces that I see don't see.
Rumors became one of the best-selling albums in history, and Bob Welch missed all of it. He joined Fleetwood Mac in 1971 and contributed to 5 albums between 1971 and 1974, helping the group survive its most turbulent period. Burnout and marriage difficulties finally pushed him to quit in December 1974. Guitarist Lindsey Buckingham and vocalist Stevie Nicks replaced him shortly after. The revamped Fleetwood Mac released their self-titled album in 1975, selling over 5 million copies. Then came Rumors in 1977, with over 40 million copies sold worldwide, and hits like Dreams and Go Your Own Way. Welch later sued Fleetwood Mac for breach of contract, claiming underpayment of royalties. Relations turned acrimonious, and he tragically died by suicide in 2012. Number 6. Brian Brizz Gillis. A founding member of LFO walked away right before the boy band scored their biggest hit. Brian Brizz Gillis helped form the group, but departed in early 1999 due to creative and personal conflicts. Summer Girls hit radio that summer, climbing to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. The self-titled debut album spawned another top 10 hit, Girl on TV, selling over 2 million copies. Gillis appears on only one song from that album, Can't Have You, recorded before his departure. He watched his former bandmates appear on MTV's Total Request Live and tour the country while he faded into relative obscurity. The timing was brutal, with Gillis leaving just months before massive mainstream success arrived. LFO became synonymous with late 90s pop nostalgia, playing festivals and reunion shows for years afterward. Gillis passed away in 2023 at age 47, never experiencing the lasting fame his former bandmates enjoyed.
Come in, summer girls go. Summer wear flyless, summer so. Summer girls come in, summer girls.
Before we continue, did you ever walk away from something right before it took off? A band, a job, a project that later became huge without you? Drop a comment and let us know where in the world you are watching from. Number 5. Tracii Guns. Half the band's name came from him, and then he stopped showing up. Tracii Guns co-founded Guns N' Roses with Axl Rose in March 1985, merging his band LA Guns with Axl's group Hollywood Rose. The partnership lasted only months. Guns grew increasingly unreliable, and the remaining members moved on without him before the end of 1985. Slash replaced him on guitar, and the lineup that would change rock history locked into place. Guns N' Roses released Appetite for Destruction in July 1987, one of the best-selling debut albums in history, with over 30 million copies sold worldwide. The record produced Sweet Child O' Mine, Welcome to the Jungle, and Paradise City. Guns reformed LA Guns and found moderate success, but nothing approached the cultural phenomenon his former band became. He co-founded the group, gave it half its name, and then stopped coming to practice. Number 4. Jack Irons. In the early months of 1983, 4 friends from Fairfax High School in Los Angeles formed a band that would redefine funk rock. Jack Irons was one of them, co-founding the Red Hot Chili Peppers, alongside Anthony Kiedis, Flea, and Hillel Slovak. He left that same year to focus on his other group What Is This, returning later alongside Slovak. Then on June 25, 1988, Slovak died of a heroin overdose at age 26, devastating everyone around him. Irons could not continue playing music with the grief so raw, and he left the Chili Peppers for the final time. The band released Mother's Milk in 1989, then Blood Sugar Sex Magic in 1991, a landmark album selling over 13 million copies with hits like Under the Bridge and Give It Away. Irons later played drums in Pearl Jam and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a Chili Pepper in 2012. Number 3. Scott Raynor.
She's open waiting for more. When I know he's only looking to score.
The label had a problem on their hands in the summer of 1998. Blink-182 was set to record what would become their commercial breakthrough, but original drummer Scott Raynor had developed a serious drinking problem that was disrupting the band on tour. Mark Hoppus and Tom DeLonge confronted him about it, then brought in Travis Barker from the Aquabats as his replacement before the sessions began. Enema of the State arrived in June 1999, selling over 15 million copies worldwide. The record produced What's My Age Again, All the Small Things, and Adam's Song, making Blink 182 one of the defining bands of the late 90s. It is hard to imagine anyone other than Barker behind the kit now, but Raynor was there at the beginning. He later struggled with addiction and legal issues, watching from the sidelines as his replacement became one of rock's most celebrated drummers. Number 2. Arabian Prince. He was in the room when hip-hop history was being made, and then he walked out over a paycheck. Arabian Prince was among the founding members of NWA in the mid-1980s alongside Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, DJ Yella, and MC Ren. He contributed to the group's landmark album Straight Outta Compton in 1988, but departed before its release after growing frustrated with what he felt were unfair financial arrangements. He believed a solo career would prove more profitable.
You got the juice and you feel loose. Let the music take your mind. The freaks are here, don't interfere. Our world is one of a kind.
Straight Outta Compton became one of the most influential and controversial albums in hip-hop history, selling over 3 million copies and launching gangsta rap into the mainstream. Arabian Prince faded into relative obscurity with just a single album, credit to show for his time with the group. He was not entirely wrong about the money, as several NWA members later filed lawsuits over unpaid royalties, but he missed the cultural revolution from the outside looking in. Number 1. Dell Neal.
Revelation set his soul on fire. She said she always knew.
The decision was simple, and he has never regretted it. Dell Neal helped found the Killers in Las Vegas in 2002, playing early shows as the band built its following on the local club circuit. Personal reasons pushed him toward the exit that same year. He chose his own. Well-being over the grind, stepping away before the breakthrough arrived. Mark Stoermer replaced him on bass, and the band pressed forward. Hot Fuss dropped in June 2004, becoming one of the decade's defining albums with over 7 million copies sold worldwide. Mr. Brightside became a cultural phenomenon, accumulating over 2 billion streams on Spotify alone. Somebody Told Me and All These Things That I've Done joined it as massive radio hits. The Killers went on to headline festivals across the globe. Neal watched it all unfold from the quiet, at peace with the choice he made.